There is no other JRPG I have ever played that sounds anything like Final Fantasy XII's
That's true.
soundtrack.
That's true.
Unless you're... What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the State of the Arc podcast. My name is Mike.
My name's Casen.
Last week, we covered the soundtrack of Final Fantasy XI.
Which was the most wonderful surprise. Just listening to that music and then talking and learning about that game was the highlight of my whole week. That was really fun.
It's really, really good. And so as part of our ongoing Music of Final Fantasy series, this week we are doing Final Fantasy XII.
Final Fantasy XII.
This one is going to be interesting. I have, of course, the list of tracks that, we want to talk about or whatever, but I would say this was the first time I remember being a longtime Final Fantasy fan, seeing a lot of criticism of a soundtrack for a Final Fantasy game. Like a lot.
And possibly stemming from the lack of one Nobuo Uematsu
exactly.
Headlining the, all of the songs. But I have to say, this is a really good soundtrack.
I think it's fantastic.
Now,
personally.
Have we not said that about every game up to this point?
Yeah,
but here's the thing. These games prioritize music in such a way to where even when it's not the original musician, they get someone really capable to fill in the space.
I don't think I've ever heard a mainline Final Fantasy soundtrack that I didn't like.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, that being said, we did talk about this last week, that the principal composer for Final Fantasy XI, Mizuta, his composing style is much more similar to that of Uematsu. So while Uematsu only did a handful of tracks on the base game for Final Fantasy XI, a lot of that music still sounds very Uematsu-ish or adjacent.
Or at least felt,
felt that way. And Final Fantasy XII does not.
Not really.
Not at all.
It feels more like John Williams.
Okay, so this is something I it's my first note to talk about.
Okay.
I have, and this is a big part of the reason why I'm redoing, or why we are currently redoing the Final Fantasy retrospective series.
Right, yeah.
I have attributed that sort of like Hollywood John Williams sound to Sakimoto for years, and I put that in my old review for Final Fantasy XII.
Right.
He sounds a little more like the Howard Shores and the John Williams, that sort of like age of blockbuster Hollywood in the 80s and 90s. What I have come to learn after saying that and playing games like Vagrant Story is that his sound really isn't so much like that. But there is one composer who worked on Final Fantasy XII, and two of the pieces he did, which are the opening movie and the ending movie,
the most John Williams sounding,
so John Williams Star Warsy that I just sort of assumed Sakimoto wrote those. Now, to a certain extent, it's possible that he did write a lot of the themes that were used in those medleys,
right?
But not all of it. I'll show you the track I'm thinking of. The very, very last track on the playlist that we're going to be looking at today. So the one after that.
Okay.
It's the theme of Final Fantasy XII.
Okay.
And a lot of that is what's used in that opening movie, but it's not orchestrated and recorded with like a real, or performed with a real orchestra like that track is. But a lot of the same exact, almost to the T,
like phrases and
like compositions are there.
Okay.
So I'm not saying Sakimoto didn't have any influence on those two pieces, but they were arranged for orchestra and I think added to by this other composer, Hayato Matsuo. And it took me a really long time to figure out which ones in the soundtrack that he did versus others.
Okay.
On almost all of the music of Final Fantasy Wikipedia pages, they have the composer listed on every track for who did what.
Okay.
And on this page on Wikipedia, for whatever reason, they just did not do that. So I had to go look for liner notes in the official soundtrack, like pamphlets, but it's all in Japanese. And I'm like trying to find like who did what. I finally was able to narrow it down, but it is Hayato Matsuo who did track 3, which is the opening movie.
Yes.
And we're going to point out specifically like unbelievably Star Warsy sounding stuff in that.
But it's not just the music that feels Star Warsy in Final Fantasy XII, though.
Yeah.
I feel like
the story itself too.
A lot of the story and the locations. Like there was a time that I think was, I feel like the Phantom Menace started it in 1999, and then John Carter of Mars ended it, where there was this idea of sci-fi where it's like dry desert sci-fi, right?
Yes.
Maybe more Dune-ish, right?
Yeah.
And that was popular in the 2000s, and FF12 seems to kind of take a lot of inspiration from like not the Gungans, but who are the dry people?
Oh, the sand people. What are what are they called?
What that big city where Queen Amidala lives, basically, where they use salt for like the waterfalls and stuff.
But wait a minute, that planet's Naboo. That's not Tatooine.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I'm getting some Naboo and some desert. I'm just getting all the landscapes from Episode 1 of Star Wars. They feature prominently in FF12.
Because Tatooine is in the Phantom Menace.
You're right.
For a long time.
Tatooine, and then you're right. The Amidala is in a different place. Although that like parade where they're riding on the chocobos,
that is
straight up Phantom Menace.
Totally,
like,
yes.
Feels exactly. And then
At
the music.
At the end of Phantom Menace, they have that big parade. Naboo, and that looks so much like
the opening. I feel like they took cues there. So it's not just in the music, but I feel like a lot of aspects of the game were kind of going for that type of feel.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have pointed that out in the past. Yeah. And it's true, but I do think that, like, as I was listening to this more closely, I heard, because Sakimoto is the principal composer for the game. He did a vast majority of the tracks here. I hear a lot more of the Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy Tactics Ogre sound than necessarily that like Hollywood John Williams sound. And I'll get into some specifics on that here in a second. But let's dive into the soundtrack here. So I'm going to pull up the first track, which is the loop demo. So it's just playing basically on the start screen. And it's got the prelude kind of baked into that.
Yeah, I love this prelude. The unmistakable harp with that choir in the background.
Yeah. And I think...
the angelic choir.
So this isn't the first time that they had a fully orchestrated version of the prelude. They kind of did in Final Fantasy XI in its opening movie too. But I think this is the first time you get this like choir backing it, which has now become kind of a staple of every time you hear this piece sort of orchestrated for different games or in different places. That's kind of become something you expect to hear in that. It's really good though.
And I like this part. And then, so the prelude leads right into...
Yep. Some of the FF12.
Very unexpected, more bombastic. It kind of takes you by surprise. Boom, right there.
Yeah, it's great.
And you get those timpani drums, this big band feel. So at the very beginning of the prelude, we've got the harp and like a female choir, basically, just the oohs and ahs. And you don't really know what to expect other than this mysterious feel of, once again, a new Final Fantasy. I'm so excited. And then this is where the, what is it? Just the start screen movie is playing, right? And now you're getting the feel for the soundtrack for this whole game.
Yep.
It's big. I mentioned a lot in Final Fantasy XI that the instruments were very intimate and that it felt very tight-knit and small scale, like a village of people who know each other all getting out and dancing. That's not the feel for Final Fantasy XII.
No.
Final Fantasy XII is big band. We're dealing with high politics. Like this is a big deal, and 100-piece symphony kind of stuff.
Yes,
and it's very different. I actually have a quote here. This is from the wiki, the Final Fantasy wiki, and I don't know if this is quoting the composer or not, but it says, early on it was decided that the game's music would use a fundamental orchestra form, not because of the image of the game itself, but to avoid a particular kind of arrangement that can be created by an unbalanced orchestration with use of folk instruments, right? So this is a deliberate choice to not do what FF11 did, right? Yeah. I think I really like watch our episode. The FF11 soundtrack is so good. I really enjoyed it. But they decided to go a completely different direction with this. Yeah. And the composer, as we mentioned before, Hitoshi Sakimoto, was chosen. He was handpicked by Yasumi Matsuno. Yep. This was Matsuno's like number one guy for doing his video games. But he particularly wanted, and he had kind of an internal struggle too of like, do I try to mimic Uematsu or do I just kind of do my own style? And I'm glad actually. But no one can do Uematsu better than if he just became cheap discount Uematsu. Nobody can be Uematsu, right? Instead of trying to be someone else, he was just like, no, I'm going to do. They picked me for a reason because they like what I can do. I don't need to mimic someone else. I'm going to just do my music, right? Yeah. And I love the soundtrack. It's so different, but I absolutely love it. And this Final Fantasy XII marks possibly the beginning, although 11 might as well. I just haven't really played it yet. Of the departure of what I'm forgetting his name now, but the founder of Final Fantasy.
Sakaguchi.
Sakaguchi was kind of intending. They were starting to veer, right? And the departure of Uematsu was a big part of this. But when the game came out in 2006, I think.
Yeah,
and
I think
Sakaguchi had been gone for a while, and it was like, hey, we're doing different things. It's not turn-based anymore. They're going kind of like with the Knights of the Old Republic style for the battle.
A little more MMO like.
Yeah. But there's a lot that can go wrong when you start deviating from a tried and true formula.
Yes.
But I really like Final Fantasy XII just as the game. I feel like they actually did a very good job. It just is unfortunate this game came out right at the end of the PlayStation 2's life, so it didn't really have that spectacle that Final Fantasy X had because it was right at the beginning. Yeah, nobody had played a PlayStation 2 game before, and that's the one they got.
Yeah.
But the music in particular being so different, I really don't mind it at all. Uematsu's not going to live forever, people. like at some point, other composers need to show up, and if they just try to copy him, they'll never really quite make it.
Yeah.
But this was a great start. Although I would argue FF11 started it, but Uematsu was involved enough to where he kind of smoothed it over with the fans. I think this was a great start. For actually, Uematsu did do one track.
He did
in this, and we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
And it was written very early in development, like very early. In fact, when Hitoshi Sakimoto was hired, they had that song already, and he listened to it, and he was like, "Okay, all right, so this is kind of what they want me to do, right? It's like this is how they want, this is the feel they want." So it makes me wonder if Uematsu was going to do an earlier version of FF12, and things got all jumbled with the merger with Enix and all that. But that song was already written.
Yeah.
And so that's the only song that Uematsu wrote. The only
just one.
But he did write one. So he contributed to the soundtrack. And it's an interesting one too. It's an interesting one. We're going to talk about it more when we get there.
He does a lot of the whenever they bring someone in to perform like a solo artist, like a singer, vocal track that they use kind of at the end of the games or maybe in the credits or something like that.
I was shocked to learn that song was written before any of the other songs in the entire game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That song came first.
It's very, very interesting. I didn't even know that fact. So that's really funny.
Yeah.
I think that it's interesting to see, and I think I understand it to a certain extent, though I do have some kickback to the kind of the common criticisms of the Final Fantasy XII.
That it's more ambient or it's not as fun.
Well, it certainly doesn't feel like an Uematsu soundtrack.
No,
I get
it does
that.
not. It does
so
not.
like people might have automatically been like, this doesn't feel like Final Fantasy to me.
Yeah.
I don't dispute that at all. I do think it helps that Sakimoto wrote Final Fantasy Tactics soundtrack, and that was a very well-received game. And
that's right.
There are some similarities, well, not even just in the soundtracks, but these two worlds are the same.
You're right,
It's the world of Ivalice.
Yeah.
And so, to me at least, that made sense as like a choice if we're going to,
That brings up an interesting point. This is not his first foray into Final Fantasy.
No.
And nobody begrudged the fact that Uematsu didn't write the score for Tactics.
No.
So that's interesting. That's just an interesting thing to bring up. He actually was eased into this.
Exactly. So that's one aspect of it to where I felt like the fit or the choice was natural.
Yeah.
Because it's an Ivalice game, it's a Matsuno game, and he's done work on the Final Fantasy series, albeit a side game, not a mainline game already. But in addition to that, I think at least what I've read the most as like a common criticism for this game soundtrack is that it has too much what people call filler. And that's always been a critique that I take issue with because it's not – I take issue with people who say things without being direct and clear about what they mean by that.
Okay.
This is a very easy term to throw out there.
Sure.
To basically just mean there's a lot of songs I skip in between because I don't vibe with them or I don't like them.
Yeah.
But it's not an actual critique on the compositions or the reasons why that might not have vibed with you or whatever. So what I typically would expect them to mean by that is you have a lot of generic music in between maybe a few standout pieces or something like that.
Probably.
But I do not agree with that at all with this game. There is no other JRPG I have ever played that sounds anything like Final Fantasy XII's
That's true.
soundtrack.
That's true.
Unless
Shocked
you're going to just go straight to Sakimoto's own music.
Yeah,
He's done a lot of music in, say, for like Vanillaware, with Odin's Sphere. That's not necessarily a JRPG, but you know what I mean. Dragon's Crown, 13 Sentinels, and his studio does basically all the music for those.
Yeah.
And then if you go back to Tactics Ogre or even Ogre Battle 64, which was done by Sakimoto. Those sound like, but there's no other JRPG soundtrack that I think sounds like him. And in particular, Final Fantasy XII, even among his own music, I think is very unique. It stands out.
It is.
It has its very own identity. So there's nothing about this soundtrack anywhere that I think feels generic. What it does, though, is it has a lot of pieces that I could see maybe feeling samey to each other.
Yes, I did feel that.
Right.
I did feel that, but they were awesome.
They're great.
So it's like I didn't mind it. And in terms of the filler, yeah, I skipped a few tracks. I will admit to it. 100 tracks is a lot for a game. And most games, like, there were just less tracks for a lot of the previous games that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Like FF8 didn't have quite as many tracks as what was it, like 70 or something like that? I can't remember. Or was 50?
For which game?
FF8.
Yeah, it's in the 70 or 80 range somewhere.
Okay, and then S7 I feel like had less or something.
It had, again, like 80 something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is still just a lot. It's a lot. I didn't skip very many songs. And those songs were, now I haven't played the game in about 10 years. I haven't played FF12 in a while.
Yeah.
But it's entirely possible those songs were perfect for the moment in the game that
That's
they
exactly
occur,
what I feel.
right?
That's exactly what I feel. This is a different soundtrack in the sense that even from FF11, where you're really tying the piece of music to an area or to a character, or you're characterizing sort of like a place. And it's not that this doesn't do that, it does. But there's a lot of music that's written more in the film soundtrack way, where it's just meant to give you a sense of anxiety or pensiveness or sadness or something like that. But it's not hummable as a melody.
I probably couldn't hum very many of the melodies.
I actually have this as a note, and we'll go through some examples where it's like,
it's okay.
This is an unhummable song. Right?
There's like 15 parts.
But it's really well written and composed, and it fits
I felt that way.
really well where it's placed in the game. And so I have never taken an issue with music being written that way. I think that that's a very valid and very enjoyable way to compose a soundtrack, and in a lot of ways a really effective way to do it. But JRPG players on the whole, they really like their hummable tunes, and they really like their melodies to stick.
It's what we got used to up to basically this point. Yeah. It's what we were used to.
So I think that that's more what the complaint actually is than it being, the music's too generic or too much filler.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that that's true. You break it down.
Okay, but I'm just going to say Uematsu can't score every game. I would like it if, actually, I would probably prefer it if every game I played, Uematsu scored it. And not just Uematsu scored it, but that literally Fisherman's Horizon was every track. It would make any part of any game better. Just just take away that and put in Fisherman's Horizon. This feels good now. I'm sympathetic to that, right?
Yeah.
He's the best, right? But variety is also nice.
Yeah.
And it's also good to taste the other flavors of the Baskin-Robbins ice cream, as they say.
That's exactly how I feel.
Like sometimes you're just like, I don't really feel like Rocky Road today. I kind of want some like birthday cake ice cream or something. Or what ice cream would you think? What ice cream do you think is Hitoshi Sakimoto?
That's great because he's. It depends on the soundtrack, but here at least he's very big and bombastic.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I would go with something that's
also
really
more of like
bold. Maybe like I don't know. There's something classical in it too.
Yeah,
that's a tough.
So here's what I'm thinking, and I forget the word. It's like a French word. This is probably the only reason why I even like it. At Cold Stone, there's this. I can't remember what it's called. There's this like marbled ice cream that's got this like really like dark chocolate fudge marbled throughout
I would say
it.
Dark's got to be in there.
Yeah. And but I can't remember what it's called, but it's got some French word in it. Anyways, something like that would be it. Whereas Uematsu
really rich.
is very rich, very rich. Something maybe you also don't want to eat too much of
all the time,
but that's really good when you have it once a month or whatever. Uematsu has got that. I don't even know what his is, but his is just whatever my favorite one is. That's his. But it's still not something that I can eat all the time.
Yeah.
Or Oreo cream. How about that?
Yeah, like Final Fantasy XI, to a large extent, a lot of the Final Fantasy games, they have a lot of those sort of intimate. I'd call it that. It's like a very intimate kind of soundtrack where the melodies are written in such a way to where there's just this real strong personal connection with a place or person or something.
Yeah, very much
this
so.
is just really big.
It's more general. It's epic. It's purely epic.
Yeah, it would be a word I would choose.
So it's more difficult to identify with just one specific place because everything just feels so big. You feel kind of dwarfed within the music, right? And like, I'm listening to the flutes here, but the piccolos just did, and the clarinets, and now the violins are playing the part.
It's really complex.
And you're kind of getting lost in it a little bit, but in a beautiful way that I appreciate. But at the same time, I feel like I'm in a valley with these huge mountains around me, and I'm like having a difficult time taking in all of the scenery, right? Yeah. Everything is calling out to me at once, instead of being in a small, humble forest village, where the folk are telling me, here's where the children dance, and here's our fireplace. Oh, very nice. Okay, very cool. Less overwhelming, right? Yeah. Less overwhelming. And there's a way that can go wrong, where it's just like to tell AI to create an image of a valley with big mountains, and you'll get the craziest freaking thing you've ever seen. And it's like, a little too much, okay? Maybe like more real, like actual valleys and mountains. Like, okay, cool. We'll see if that even works. I don't know. But sometimes you can overdo it, right? And just really get a little too much. I don't feel like this goes that way. In fact, the main Final Fantasy theme, which is probably the next one, it's like track 2.
The Final Fantasy theme, but Final Fantasy XII's version.
Yes. And here's the thing about that one. Like, I'm a huge fan of
this piece.
This is my favorite one. And in particular, the version of this song that plays at the end of Advent Children, Final Fantasy VII's movie. And I think this one's better.
Yeah, this is
I think this is actually better than it. Just, it's so beautiful. And if he can make, I know Uematsu wrote the original, notation of this song, but this is the best arrangement of it that I've ever heard.
I like this one a lot. This one's really good.
It gets me right in the feels. And you get that trumpet up top and then the cymbals. You just feel victorious. You feel adventurous. This is the spirit of Final Fantasy, even more so than the prelude. This song is the spirit of Final Fantasy in my mind, the way that I experience it. And this version of that song is the best version.
I would say
I'm sold on this composer just based on this alone.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think my favorite rendition of this track or this piece is in the credits of Final Fantasy IX, and it is a little slower and sweeping with the strings. But this one
is very cool.
Has that really big, brassy tone and sort of texture that this game is really known for.
Yeah.
So I think it's really, really good. It's up there as one of the best versions.
And then the next one is the FF12 theme, right?
Yeah. So this is the Final Fantasy 12 theme, but it's sort of worked into this medley. What
are those drums, by the way? It's like,
okay, I got to talk about this. I don't know exactly. They sound.
It's cool.
It's got kind of a world feel to it. It's like it doesn't sound like what
like a timpani
like the
or
classical necessarily the classical percussion of the big symphonies.
Exactly, yeah.
It sounds like it has maybe some kind of Middle Eastern influence or something like that, which a lot of this game has.
And I love it. I really
Or maybe
love
not Middle Eastern as much as Mediterranean, I should say.
it. Sure. Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know precisely what drums those are to
It almost
not
feels,
answer your question.
it almost feels taiko-ish, but not really.
But what I love, you might be right, it might be taiko, but
That would be cool.
what I love about this percussion in particular at the beginning of this, there's a lot of the rhythmic action kind of happening on the upbeats rather than necessarily the downbeats.
Interesting. Yeah.
And this does something really, really cool in that at first when I was kind of going through this, I was like, is this even written in 4/4? And it is. But the way they surprise you with the big orchestra when it comes in is really, really, really cool.
I know.
So
very
they've
cool.
got this percussion. Should start playing here. Let me turn it up a little bit. You're just kind of waiting. Okay, when is the rest of the music going to come in, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of go, okay, wait, here comes the downbeat, right there. Oh, no, not yet. Okay. Let's keep going here. Okay, now for sure. Oh, not yet. Okay, we're coming back to, okay, right here. This is definitely going to be it. No, okay, we're still waiting. This has got to be it.
Starting to build a little.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Okay. Whoa! All of a sudden, you're just freaking blown out of your seat.
That's really cool.
Really surprising.
That's really cool.
In a really cool way. I really, really like the way he played with expectations like that. This is not necessarily Sakimoto who wrote this piece. This is the other guy I was talking about when we get his name right again.
John Williams Jr.
John Williams Jr., also known as Hayato Matsuo.
But John Williams is just Holst Jr. So
that's true.
So it's Holst
I wanted
Jr.
to bring
Jr.
that up. The music in FF12 is, I would classify it as delightfully complex. And
very nice.
John Williams is as well. John Williams
his Harry Potter and Home Alone, his Home Alone soundtrack, definitely.
And Star Wars in particular is just I've never seen anyone in Hollywood film composing use the entire orchestra
at the very
beginning as John Williams does. Every part he's passing
so
here. You're doing this and you're doing this, and it's all really complex music.
Yeah.
But it's all derived from
Holst.
Yes.
Basically.
Hardcore classical music.
Yeah.
But he took hardcore classical music and sort of made it a mainstream sound. That's the genius of John Williams.
Yeah.
And Matsuo here is going for a really similar sound to that. So you'll hear lots of that delightfully complex, full orchestra usage that feels very Star Wars-y here. But I got to play this part again. It's just so cool the way
I like how you set this up.
You just get so shocked when that, and it's so big. I mean, it's the dynamics here are crazy when that comes in. It's just oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But the dynamics again, really big. Now, boom, soft.
This is good. I like it when your your waveform doesn't look like a square.
Yes, it's not just blasting all the time.
Yeah, it's very nice when you get some actual texture with the music here, which all the Final Fantasies achieve, by the way. But this is very on point. And it was actually difficult for me to listen to on the drive up because I kept having to adjust the volume for quiet parts, and now it's too loud, and now it's too quiet. But when you can be alone at home, or not alone, but in a controlled environment at home playing the game, instead of in your car where your engine's going and there's all these competing sounds, then it's perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
But there again was a great example. This is
cool.
When people say music is dynamic, what they're talking about is how quiet versus how loud. How great is the distance?
The peaks and valleys.
Yes, between its quietest and its loudest. And this is
and we just entered a beautiful valley here, a serene valley, a meadow full of flowers.
And it just goes back and forth like that, and which is what makes it feel so exciting when it gets exciting.
And the whole soundtrack does
because you have that contrast between the two, right? And you're right. The whole soundtrack really utilizes dynamics in a very strong way. Not as strong as this opening
this
movie
particular
or
piece.
ending movie, because these are obviously real orchestras,
Yeah.
or a real orchestra performing these, versus the sound fonts that Sakimoto's working with
Right.
on PS2.
And the this is an intro movie that we're watching,
Yes.
right? So they're able to time the music to the
it's
beats
all
of the film.
timed with.
Whereas in the actual game, it's like, well,
I love this part.
it's not all perfectly timed.
It's coming up,
Up is the right
and
word.
now you're getting the theme.
Oh, now we're flying.
The Final
now
Fantasy
we're flying over the
12
clouds.
theme here.
Yeah,
And he's passed
Okay.
that a couple of times to different instruments.
I want to ask you a question about the Final Fantasy 12 theme. Do you sense a little Chrono Trigger?
I could see that. I could see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that sweeping feel to
Yeah.
it. That like you said, we're flying.
We
now.
are above the clouds right now.
That's very much how Chrono Trigger's
Yeah.
theme feels in a similar way.
It's very thematically consistent with.
I love
traveling.
the chorus. The chorus in Final Fantasy 12 is very unique too. Like the choir.
Yeah,
that
it's
they
not
use.
like the 10
It's
choir that you would hear.
very big, and
Yeah.
you'll hear it throughout too.
Yeah, it's much bigger.
Okay, listen to this.
This is cool.
Is
man.
that not straight Star Wars
This is
to
so
you?
Star Wars, so unbelievably
If
Star
you
Wars.
go to and Star Wars does this all throughout all three of the original movie soundtracks, but if you go specifically to the Battle of Endor Medley 3, which is where the Death Star is blown up and like Lando escapes from the blast, like
Okay,
and it's
yeah.
like woohoo, and the guy's
Yeah.
like and it's like blowing up in the background. And I'm not going to play it here because we'll get an immediate copyright strike doing any Star Wars music at all.
Yes, absolutely.
But if you listen to the way it goes from its crescendo and then fades, it is almost identical in form to what he is doing with this. I'll play this one more time and just listen to that with that in mind. So we're going to build to our crescendo as it starts fading.
And the brass is still kind of lingering.
That is so Star Wars. And that's what made me feel like, oh, well, this is the classic, what I would call classic Hollywood, not real classic Hollywood. The 80s and 90s classic Hollywood
90s, yeah, classic.
sound.
80s, 70s.
It's all over this. And even in some of these battle parts, like stuff like that. And even like this. You can just hear Star Wars all over. But it's amazing. It's really, really amazing. And it really heightens the intro into the game's story, which I think is really, really good. This has one of, in my opinion, the best intros to any Final Fantasy game.
FF12's intro is so
We
strong.
talked about it a lot in our video on the intros of Final
revelation
Fantasy.
of information and the introduction of new mysteries is just like unparalleled.
I think it's freaking masterful in this game.
Yeah.
And even just in this beginning part, they're giving you a lot of story here about Dalmasca and its fall and things like that. And that's a lot of information. And they do it in this, I mean, how long is this track? It's only like 6 minutes. It's just under 7 minutes.
No.
Princess Ash and like the prince who's killed in the battle and, Captain Bosch and like all this. They introduce you to a lot of politics between the two warring kingdoms that Dalmasca is sandwiched between. It's all accomplished in like 7 minutes in an exceptionally exciting sequence, which is, I think, evident in just the music playing here underneath us. And it's a really short space, but they do a lot in that short space. And I think it's really effective. And so much of its effectiveness to me is chalked up to the music here, which is, I don't know how you can not listen to this or how you could listen to this and not be like, this is some of the best video game music I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
Personally.
Absolutely.
It's
one of the things
fantastic.
that I kind of wanted to avoid a little bit, I know this is done to a cutscene, essentially. But what I don't want to say is that it sounds like a movie, as though movie music is the pinnacle that video games are trying to achieve.
I
It's
think
like, no,
that's
video
very good.
games are great arts, in and of themselves. They don't need to be trying to reach up to achieve what cinema did, as though there's some B-rate version of, what the cinema
good
scores
point.
are. This is just, and I like what you said, this is just as far as is in its own category, just video game music. This is so good. And just measuring it against all music, this guy is an incredible composer.
Yeah.
Incredible composer.
He's really good.
And his team, I know it's not just him, but there's arrangers and all that kind of stuff. But this is, on par with some of the best music that's being produced in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
And I love it. And this is the craziest thing. This is a testament to that. I didn't have a ton of time to prepare for this soundtrack.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I haven't played the game in a while. Okay, I'm listening to it. I asked my wife, like, hey, can you pull up the FF12 soundtrack and like just tell me your thoughts on it, what it feels like? She's never played the game before, knows nothing about it. And I was like, just kind of help me out so that I can get some different perspectives on, what's happening here in the music and what you're feeling. She told me she was like halfway through the soundtrack, which took like an hour or two because I was, working, doing my own thing. And then when I saw her again, she was like, I want to play this game.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
She loved this soundtrack, and she's very musically talented.
No, she's insanely talented.
She's extremely talented. She's a good singer, good piano player. She plays banjo and guitar and all that stuff. She's very good. But she has a very particular taste with music. And this filled that gap for her even more so than a lot of Uematsu's work.
Yeah.
She was like, and so after the very first 3 tracks here, we kind of finish with the bombasticness of the music, at least for the time being. Because now we're going into maybe a little bit of Vaughn or, the other characters that are playing here. Infiltration is cool, then boss battle.
I think... Oh, my note on this song in particular was this is where I start to hear the Sakimoto sound that feels like Vagrant Story.
Yes, me too. There you go.
Do you hear Vagrant Story in this?
Yes, I hear Vagrant Story
I totally do. Like, especially this part. I don't know. There's just something about it.
But listen to those high, like a viola kind of plucks.
Yep.
This is what my wife likes a lot.
Yeah.
And not necessarily here because this is kind of has a mysterious kind of feel to it.
Sure.
But a ton of this soundtrack has like a whimsical kind of feel to it.
Sure.
A very just like mischievous almost tone to what's happening, especially when we're with Vaughn. If you can go to, it's just a little bit after this. It's called
in
Secret.
the same track or
Secret Battle.
Oh,
Secret Practice. Yeah, click this one here. The music here.
Yeah. There's a lot of this in FF12.
It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool. And I get it. It's not the dark, heavy,
you can't
bombastic.
Hum this.
No, you can't. And if you did, I'd be like, what are you humming? I wouldn't pick up on it. I couldn't imagine you. Even if 2 people were trying their best to hum this, I'd be like, what are you doing, dude? This sounds crazy. I'm just imagining. I'm imagining people humming this now. Yeah, it'd be really hard. It doesn't roll off the hum, so to speak. But it's really good, and it has this kind of whimsical feel to it.
Great.
And this is the kind of stuff that my wife really likes.
Yeah.
That she doesn't get a ton of this with Uematsu's work, but she gets a whole lot of it here in FF12. And a lot, maybe like a quarter of the soundtrack, has this feel to it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's very whimsical, slightly mischievous, very fun, and to the extent that it is John Williams, it's more of the Home Alone John Williams.
Yeah.
It's more of the fun,
Sure.
Mickey Mousey type John Williams.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah.
The next track, well, I had Boss Battle, I'll go back to it, but the Royal City of Rabanastre is similar.
Oh, I love this one so much.
But it's got a little bit more of a regal take on that sound we were just hearing.
Yes,
but
still whimsical, but more formally whimsical, if there were such a thing.
It's just wonderful.
I love this song.
It's wonderful.
So this is, and it was actually this song that my wife mentioned. Or it was Streets of Rabanastre, I think. Streets of Rabanastre, it's come up soon. But she was like, I want to play this game. Now, I have to play this game now. It's more or less what she was telling me. There's so much interesting, like, intrigue happening here that is in the form of, like, small scale. We're not dealing with the epic landscapes anymore. We're in a particular place now. This feels a lot more intimate. But she just wants to know what's happening here. And she can't help it. So
it's really good.
And luckily, I think we might be covering this game on the podcast.
It was on the vote for the last one, that Expedition 33 one, so it'll be on the next vote.
Maybe next time. Yeah.
But it's going up against Xenoblade Chronicles, which was, like that close to taking on Expedition 33.
Okay, maybe the time after that.
Maybe after that.
Eventually, we'll get to this game.
I'd like to play Boss Battle real quick.
Okay. I
freaking love.
We talked before how I'm not the biggest fan of battle music in general.
Or I should say battle music.
Yeah, but this game, it's different when it's a full symphony and it's less like a drum set and some of the other boss battles that we get previously. I actually prefer the battle music of FF12 to the battle music of FF7 or 9
Oh, sure.
or 10 or 8 or any of them. This is really cool.
It's awesome.
This is good for me. I like this a lot because you're going to be hearing these songs often.
Yeah.
And when it's something like this, I really appreciate it. I love it.
The note that I took for this one was, here you can hear Sakimoto's take on that big orchestra feel from the Matsuo track we heard earlier, right? It's in the same ballpark of what Matsuo was doing in terms of delightful complexity. There's a lot going on here, but it's not nearly as like identical to the John Williams sound as Matsuo's take was.
Right.
This is definitely feels more Vagrant Story, FF Tactics, but it's just as big and just as complex orchestrally as what we heard in that other one. So I want to take it back for all the false information I gave over the years. Sakimoto does not sound like John Williams. It's a different guy, but still really, really good. So I love this one quite a lot. My next one was Penelo's theme.
Oh yeah, I put that on here too.
It's great.
It's very fun. Once again, the whimsical.
That whimsical feel is there. This one's super memorable to me. So
you can hum this.
Yes, you can hum this.
You can hum this one.
When you do get the strong melodies, I think they're really strong.
They are very strong
in Final Fantasy XII, but
this is very nice.
It's really good. This is, when I think of Final Fantasy XII music, this is one of the first ones that comes to my mind. I don't know why. This one, it's because it's early in the game.
Yeah.
But like you said, it kind of fits into that whimsical tone that's very common throughout it.
Yeah.
But it's probably also the most memorable because of its hummable theme. So it just comes to mind when I think of FF12 a lot.
This is a cool song. This is a very cool song.
It's really good.
Maybe this is some criticism that people had of the game in general, that it is trying to mix this whimsicalness into the epic.
Yeah.
Right? And you see that in the music. It fits perfectly in the music. Some people criticize the game for maybe doing that a little too much. But I don't know that I would necessarily agree with that. But we'll see. When we play the game again, we'll give that a full treatment. But this is a quote here from Sakimoto. He said he didn't want, well, it's not a quote directly. This is from the Final Fantasy Wiki. But he didn't want the game's overall mood to be too dark. So he tried to incorporate elements to keep things lighter. And he names Sarobi's Step as his favorite piece from the soundtrack.
Really?
So the composer's favorite piece is Sarobi's Step.
Do you know where that is on the track list?
It's track 1 on disc 4.
Oh, disc 4.
So disc 4, track 1. I probably could have brought this up a lot later.
That's okay.
But I wanted to bring it up because it fits into this conversation. Disc 4-1, and it has this feel. Like the music that the composer likes the most is the music that feels almost like you're
little ET-ish in this.
Yeah, there's some okay. Was it also John Williams?
I just watched that movie recently.
Really,
so
I love ET.
It's on the mind. It's really good.
But this one has a little bit more of a floating, kind of feel to it, but also contains that lightheartedness.
Final Fantasy Tactics has a lot of stuff that sounds like this, kind of spread throughout its soundtrack. That instrument in particular is all over Final Fantasy Tactics. But yeah, that's totally true. That's interesting that this is his favorite one. Yeah, but again, something that is not hummable, really.
Not at all.
How do you hum
the
this?
arpeggios of the whatever that is, the bells?
Yeah, maybe some chimes.
Like the crystal, chimes. That's it. The chimes.
Just really nice. It creates a really nice atmosphere.
Serene sounding music.
It's beautiful, but you can't hum it.
Yeah,
but that's fun. I think it's great.
Exactly.
Coexistence is one I put on here, and my note on this one was, again, the stylistic similarity to Final Fantasy Tactics. I hear Final Fantasy Tactics in this one a lot.
I do too, yeah.
In those in-between battles when you visit
the bar or the tavern.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly that kind of piece.
Yeah, we just played FF Tactics, the re-release.
Yep. That's exactly what I hear.
Weeks.
Whether you're going to go recruit some characters or go talk to the barman or
go shopping.
Yeah, it's that's the sound you get in a lot of the FF Tactics soundtrack. My next one was Giza Plains. I don't know.
I didn't
where you went
that one.
next. Let's see how far down it. Here it is.
Unfortunately, mine isn't exactly in order with this.
Okay, that's fine. This is just another one that sticks out to me. I think this is a pretty early area where you leave the city and you're out.
This is early.
Fighting monsters and stuff and running around doing some quests.
Yeah.
But you get that bouncy bass, like orchestral bass. That is like another kind of signature sound of Sakimoto, I feel like. And it does create that sort of whimsical fun. Yeah. But he's also mixing it into some, like, more dangerous sounding stuff going on.
I had heard that a reason he did this was because the battles were going to be seamless with the exploration.
Right.
And that rather than writing a bunch of different music, sometimes there are songs for battles, I know that. But often he would just have a piece that has this dynamic kind of within the emotions of the scene, where it's like things are exciting and then they kind of calm down. Because at least in part, he doesn't know when you're going to be fighting or not. You could at any point be fighting enemies throughout this whole thing. And so he decided to kind of blend them together, to have the songs be,
both things
at once, in the same song.
It's really cool. Yeah, that's exactly what this feels like. Because I believe, just at any moment you could start fighting, even if it's during like this part. But it will, at some point, probably during the fight, switch to this.
And then you'll be
like, okay, cool. Like, this is a battle theme. It serves as both things. It's both an area and a battle theme in one.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is pretty
interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
But once again, the combining of the fun aspects and the dark or epic moments is really what FF12 does on the extreme ends, right? Yeah. The extreme silliness sometimes and the extreme heightened epic situations. And it's funny that even within single tracks, you can be like, this is what they're doing. This is what this game is.
I love this part right here.
I like this too.
See, I can hum this.
Okay, good work.
It's great. Class Swords was my next one. Just another really big, kind of emphasizes. So we're kind of identifying two sounds of Final Fantasy XII. There's this, and then there's the bouncy, whimsical fun kind of that it goes back and forth between. But this is another good example of the big bombastic stuff. And when it's big, it's really big.
Yes. Oh my gosh, one of these songs, I can't remember which one, we're going to get to it though. It just blows me away with how big the sound is, and it's so much fun.
I love how this is building up. And this was in that demo movie. This piece was part of the demo movie.
Right, yeah.
It moved from the prelude into this. So we've kind of already covered this one a little bit.
Yeah.
There's some additional parts, but it's
really
big.
If you go back a little, I think if you go back, the Esper, or no, not the Esper, Damaska East Sands or S Sands?
Oh.
Or East Estlands or S Sands?
Westerland.
Yeah,
Wester
or
Sands?
there's West, but there's the Ester.
Oh, there's the Easter Sands.
Yes, Easter Sands, yeah.
Hold on, I'll find it.
You might need to do that.
There
it is. Yes, this one. The Western one's cool too, but.
Yeah. This is another kind of area just outside of Rabanastre, I think, but. This is a good one. This is a really good one.
Feels so good. and once again, this is so funny because I in the previous episodes I talked about how no one does town music like Uematsu. He is the best with town music. FF12, the tracks that stuck out to me, it's not just a game full of town music. It is not. It is not. But what really spoke to me more in this particular experience of it is the music that's more like this.
Yeah.
The really fun, more adventurous, but also more whimsical and mischievous.
Sounds. You're totally right, and it's not something I thought of while listening to this, but a lot of these area themes do serve the dual purpose of being battle themes and area themes. Yeah. And that's exactly what this one does too. Because at any time you might get into a battle. Of course, today they do like heightened versions of a theme where they can take it into an exciting and then back and forth when
the
you're
same
fighting.
Theme.
But this was kind of before that time. I don't think I know of a game that did it. But
that Middle Eastern kind of feel to it right there.
It kind of moved into, again, that more towny or area sounding. And then it's going to go back to being big again. And that's very cool that was his solution to, we're not going to have a separate battle screen like we typically do in Final Fantasy. We're not going to interrupt everything and now the battle theme starts. It's going to be intermittent throughout these areas. And so his solution to that was to write songs that can serve both purposes.
They can do both.
And that's exactly what this does. That's very cool.
Also, one of the other things that type of music often makes me think of is some type of This is Harry Potter, by the way.
100%.
The John Williams is still scattered throughout.
It's still there a little
It's just
bit.
not only that anymore, which is nice. Give me a sec. Oh yeah, the hobbits in Hobbiton, basically. The music at the beginning of the Fellowship of the Ring, and how fun it is and how interesting the hobbits are and silly sometimes. When I hear music like that, it kind of gives me that type of feeling. Like, oh, these are the simple folk. These are fun times, you know? And if you think of Vaughn and Penello as hobbits,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
there's
people who didn't like the game might come back and like it again.
There's definitely a similarity in terms of their purpose in the story and when they're placed and that sort of thing. At least in the movie, the first Lord of the Rings movie, you have that big battle at the beginning. You get kind of the epic scale of it. Then it comes down. That's kind of what this does too.
Yeah.
And this did come after the Lord of the Rings trilogy finished.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm sure
it did.
that had
That's true.
some influence at least.
But this right here, that Mediterranean influence on the music is just so interesting. It's just, every now and then, like every minute or so, the music does something that genuinely like just pricks my ears.
Yep. So this next, I'm going to go through several really quickly here. It's just a bunch of tracks that are, again, unhummable, but that I think are great. That give a sense of like a lot of the music of Final Fantasy XII that I would say kind of disappointed people for those who are critics of it, but that I think are great. So you have like Abyss, right? If we turn this up a little bit. This is good music.
Yeah.
And it fits really well where it's put.
Oh,
but this is not
very interesting.
That piano.
Oh, dude. Even if you did, it'd be crazy.
But it moves. It's like I keep coming back to the delightfully complex phrase for like describing this. But that's what it is. It moves all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's all very fitting, but it's just not that strong, hooky melody that gets stuck in your head. But it's great.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we're over here now. Like,
oh.
And then it's very classical in that sense. Classical music moves into really, really different feeling movements very quickly like that.
Because the music itself is telling a story.
Yes.
And I feel a story in this music too. I can almost imagine what's happening.
That's why classical music is often used in movie soundtracks, because it's very apt for supplementing storytelling that moves and changes in it how you feel in a scene from one moment to the next.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think this is a great track, but it's not something that you're going to blast in your car with your buddies necessarily, right?
Not necessarily.
Dark Clouds, the next track, is very similar in that sense. Like, not something that's going to, like a melody that's going to stick with you, but that is really, really good. Then we got an Albina Fortress after. I'll let this play for a second, but these are all... I think this one might be in a cutscene, like this one in particular, but a lot of these are like the dungeon type themes, right? Which are, again, serving that dual purpose we've been talking about. Nalbina Fortress Underground is the next one. It just kind of creates an atmosphere, a vibe, right? But it's great.
Now, this is the first time I'm hearing that bass, almost electronic sound.
Yeah.
Not really, but it just, there's a different feel to that.
I like that kind of solo vocal that's kind of sitting behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Nice percussion. And it's
like hand drums.
Yeah. It's great. But no one's going to put this on their list of like greatest tracks of all time, or RPG tracks. The Baharem Passagem. Maybe it's just supposed to be passage. I put an M on accident because I was trying to hit the comma key. Passage. But same kind of thing, right? And a lot of the music on this soundtrack is like this. And so I think that's probably where people are coming from.
Right.
Let's see. I'm skipping past some I'm going to go back to, but I'm trying to find more examples to kind of elucidate this. I put the Soken Cave Palace. Did I skip past that one? I might have. Hold on. Let me see if I find it up here. Okay, there's that one.
Sometimes they're named different things. I didn't notice that.
Hold on. I think I did skip around quite a bit with this particular note. This is a great example, what we're listening to right now, though, of just like...
There it is. Okay.
Yeah. So there's this one, which is kind of similar. That creates a really kind of lovely kind of tapestry there, and it's really layered, and there's cool stuff going on. The Fey Wood is another example of this.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
the
thing.
Fey Wood. I had that on my list. This is cool.
Yeah.
Just like endless mystery.
Yeah. Very mysterious.
Yeah.
You know, this is the kind of thing you expect when, like, maybe the heroes are a little unsure what to do next. And all RPG soundtracks have things like that, like a theme that's kind of reused in different places for, like, the danger music or whatever it might be.
It's just reused over and over.
So it's not like that's uncommon. It's just you're not necessarily humming this one to yourself. Ash's theme, like, I mean, one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Listen to the freaking theme of Ash. This one kind of surprised me in terms of its total lack of melody almost.
Like, is it even a theme?
It was really interesting. Maybe this was mislabeled.
It's like a mood.
Like, but if this is Ash's
mood.
theme, I'm like, holy fetch! Like, it's just there's no melody there, right?
Wow, Ash is a pretty dark person. Not entirely untrue, but you know.
I mean, and at no point does it like start coming into a melody that you attach to a person when you see that person.
Yeah, exactly. I don't feel like I'm getting the story of Ash when I listen to this.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting song. I wonder where.
And then Guru Vagan's Mystery. This is the last of these, by the way. But I wanted to give several examples to just sort of build out like my case for a lot of Final Fantasy XII's music is this too.
Yeah.
Maybe like as a third identifying sort of like texture or feel to the soundtrack, aside from the big bombastic and the kind of... This one sounds like a Final Fantasy Tactics song to me, though.
No, yeah.
Or even a Vagrant Story one. It's that dark, kind of like in the underbelly kind of... Which is a lot of Vagrant Story because it's literally taking place in like an abandoned city.
Oh, Desperate Fight here. That was one on my list.
Desperate Fight.
Like, as an example of how the battle music was just really fun for me.
Yeah.
This song as battle music is... I just love it.
I love the build up there.
Yeah.
Oh, this has a nice kind of soaring
feeling. Yeah. It's like we just reached a summit and are looking around.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
And I don't know why this does it better for me than, for instance, you know, Those Who Fight Further in the FF7. For some reason, because I love the guitar. Like, it's cool. I really do like it. But I don't know. I like the feel that was able to be evoked in FF12. Yeah, the do-do-do with
that's
like the
very
marimba's
Vagrant
kinda.
Story right
yeah,
there.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
really chaotic.
Yes. I like the feel that was evoked here without the use of drum sets and guitars, basically.
Yeah. That's so Vagrant Story.
Yeah. It's like the puzzling kind of...
It gets really dark and chaotic and dissident. And Vagrant Story is that, like, all the time. And then here...
It has these moments.
You get your sweeping FF12 feel.
Sweeping, I like that word, yeah.
Good stuff.
It's just great.
So I put the Game Over little jingle. This is, I think, my favorite Game Over jingle in the whole series. I really
don't remember
this
it.
one.
Let's check it out. This one.
It's just a harp.
Sad harp.
It's really nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Again, I don't know if you probably could hum this, but like you'd sound ridiculous trying. But I like that. I like that one a lot. Sorrow is my next one. This is a really good one. Here we go. It takes a minute for it to get going with the melody that I really like in this one.
a lot of these songs do.
Builds up a little bit to it. But I really, really like the melody in this one. It's coming eventually. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, it's this part. That melody is one that I really like, and
I like the way that resolved.
It's used in a lot of places in the game, but I think they pass it to another section here in a minute. There it is. This is my favorite part right here. And they pass it again. It's just a good melody. I like that one a lot.
Me too.
And sorrow, I think, is a really good word to use for two of the principal main characters in the story, who were most affected by the events of the beginning of the game.
Yeah, sure.
And that's Princess Ash and Bosch,
yeah.
who had a lot to lose and lost basically everything. And I feel like that theme really works for the two of them. This other version of Coexistence I really liked too. This is the Liberation Army version. Has that whimsical feel to it.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. The next one, Sky City of I think it's Blue Jerba, but or Blue Jera. It's an H or is it a B? I can't read it from here. Blue Jerba, maybe. Same.
Blue Jerba.
It fits into that first category we set up. That Von Pinello.
The Hobbit, the Shire music. Not exactly, but yeah.
I like this one a lot. Love that kind of xylophone in the back.
Yeah,
mimicking
the chimes,
the melody.
Yeah, the
shadowing the melody there.
And I also like this too because we're getting some motifs of previous themes around here as well. And I love the way a lot of these songs, it's like you may consider it filler because it's not like the main version of the theme that you're hearing, but at the same time, it's like this is just a remix, a leitmotif of that same theme, mixed in a different way to be appropriate for whatever scene is playing in the game. This is really cool. I just love that right there.
Yeah, it's good.
I remember hearing this a lot when I played.
Because it's one of the town themes. And then we got Esper Battle. This is what uses some of my favorite bits of the chorus, like when the choir comes in. Very big, very epic. The choir's just huge in this game. And you'll hear it come in here in just a second. Right here.
I love this. Just two.
Yep.
Just like a marching theme, kind of.
Very prominent, the choir in this one.
So Esper Battle is cool, but the song just called Esper.
I have that one too.
Okay.
It's really good.
That is the one where I was mentioning before how hard it goes with the percussion.
Yes.
Just mind-blowing, as face-melting as classical music can be. I loved the boldness of this piece.
This is a great one. And the same thing, the use of the choral arrangements in the Esper specific battle themes are really cool. It's actually the same, but it's the same kind of, I don't know if you call it melody necessarily, but the same kind of phrasing.
Yeah.
But a little more dangerous and chaotic sounding. It's really good.
This might be a good point to bring up as well, the remastered version of the soundtrack.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So we are listening to the original right now.
Yeah.
That's what I listened to as well. That's the version of the game that I played. I haven't played the remaster yet, the Zodiac Age.
Yes.
But the entire soundtrack was redone for that remaster. It came out, 8 years ago maybe? It was at the E3 that we went to.
Yeah, the E3 2016 we went to. It's almost 10 years ago.
Almost 10 years ago. Holy cow. Jeez, man. But I really like the remastered soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's very good. And there were a few songs, this is one of them, where I listened to kind of both versions.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, the clarity of the remastered version is extremely well done.
Let's bust that out real quick. Because I do agree. I think that a lot of people who were very attached to, the original version of a game usually have a lot of grievances with music being redone again.
Yeah. Like,
I certainly do.
Don't touch the music.
Right. Like Xenoblade Chronicles is a good example. I think the original's way better than the remastered one. Final Fantasy X would be another one. But I think for Final Fantasy XII, they did a pretty good job.
I think so. And it feels like they just kind of recorded everything live. It feels like it is performed. I don't know if it is or not, if they just got really high quality MIDI.
It's just like a higher quality version of more or less the exact same composition.
Is that like almost like the Chinese, not the gong, but like the symbol that you hit that's like hanging? I can't remember exactly what it's called.
I think it is called a gong.
It's almost like we have that.
Gongs are more, I don't know.
They're deeper. Yeah, this one's like a higher version of that. Higher
like
pitch.
A big crash instead of that low. Yeah.
Yeah, I
think they did a pretty good job with
cool.
the remastered soundtrack for this game versus other.
Compared
games.
to some games, they take a few too many liberties. Yeah.
So Esper's really good.
That was really good. Have we gotten to Battle for Freedom? Now, this is a long piece, too. This is the final boss battle.
Yeah, like the final boss battle. I was about to say that, yeah.
And it's 9 minutes long.
It's really long.
And it's really complex. There is so much going on in this arrangement.
Yeah.
It's really well done.
Yeah, this is one I didn't include on my list and should have. I think I just forgot to put it on there. But this one's fantastic.
Well, this is one where you got to listen to the whole thing to really get where it's going.
Yeah, because, we're listening to kind of a soft part. You skip ahead and that real chaotic Vagrant Story vibe.
Yeah. And all I wrote for notes for this one is that this is just long and complex and very dramatic and thrilling.
Yeah.
But as battle music goes, once again, I really do prefer this.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
It's really good. And we skip ahead a little further.
Just so many different movements happening here.
Further.
And once again, very bold with the percussion. I like
There's the Final Fantasy XII melody.
And / Chrono Trigger.
Yep. dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Really good.
This is just so cool.
It's
when you
really
can do this.
Yeah, this is very complex music to write.
It is.
I feel like it takes a lot of classical training to just like come up with something like this out of your brain. Right. Which, Nobuo Uematsu is not classically trained. He's self-taught.
Yeah,
So it's a very different
That's
sound,
part of what makes him so good.
Yeah.
But also it's what keeps him from doing stuff like this.
Not that like he can't do it if he didn't want to. I think he's experienced enough at
by
this
now?
stage in his life.
Yeah.
But it's why he didn't write stuff like this earlier on in his career.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he had somebody come in to help him arrange a lot of soundtracks.
That's true as well. There it is again.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Trombone.
Let's see. I want to go back to Ariut Village. Do you have that one on here? This is a fan favorite, I feel.
I don't think I ended up putting it on here.
Village.
I mean, 100 tracks is a lot.
It's a lot. Abandoning Power. I think I'm going the right direction. There it is. This is another track that jumps into my head when I think of Final Fantasy XII music. For whatever reason. Again, melody's going to come in here in a second with kind of a high woodwind instrument, maybe a flute. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
You got that harp. Harp's a very Final Fantasy feeling instrument. But it's really good. And then I've got, Clash on the Big Bridge I want to bring up because this is a classic Final Fantasy V theme. One of Uematsu's most famous. Certainly one of the most
Clash
famous
on the Big Bridge, yes.
from Final Fantasy V, but it's just 12's take on it.
Yeah.
But it's the same, melody.
The Black Mages do version of this. Yeah.
The hardest thing ever to play on a guitar,
Oh my gosh.
which is why they don't do it in the Black Mage. It's on the keyboard. Uematsu's doing
That's
that
right.
part.
His like organ kind of.
So that's kind of cool. Little throwback piece there. And then I put Abandoning Power down, which is right up here, I feel like. There it is. Where'd it go? I skipped.
You skipped
I
it.
went too far. Let's do this. There it is. Good stuff. Okay, Abandoning Power. Oh, I love this one.
And right
This
off the
one's
bat,
really beautiful. Very, like, ethereal feel.
it is. It reminds me of the Donkey Kong Country 2 soundtrack.
Yeah. For sure.
And once again, that choir. You're right. The presence of that choir throughout this soundtrack
Yep. You
is
get it a
very
lot.
interesting.
It's
less of a theme, but it's more
Yeah.
of just a presence.
Yeah.
It's just like it's thematic in a way. It's like
a part of the DNA or spirit
Yeah.
of this game's particular soundtrack.
exactly.
And it's very unique. It's not like you don't hear a chorus like that in other games. It's like that's an FF12 sound. For me at least. It screams FF12 when I hear that. Time for a Rest. I liked quite a lot. It's another kind of soft piece. Very similar.
This is fun.
I like this one a lot. One of my favorites on the track, on the soundtrack. Salika Wood, right after that. Really, really good one. This is like an area theme. I like this one quite a bit. And the Fawn Coast, which is the one after that, another area theme. So these are two area themes that I really, really liked. This has the more bombastic feel to it again. And then I think I've got Destiny. We're getting to the end of my list here, guys. We're almost done.
And they have a few more.
Let's see. Where is Destiny? I really love the percussion. It's ties all this soundtrack together. It's really good. It's kind of that marching snare feel to it.
Yeah, the snare.
It was right after it. It's literally the next one. There's a whole bunch right in a row that I really like. This one, I just remember, and I won't talk about where it's played, but I the point in the game where this is played is it's a really nice moment. So I think I remember it for that reason. But it's got that very noble feel to it in the destiny of this character, right? It's good stuff. So I like that theme quite a lot. This is a very hummable theme. And then the Moss Foreign High Waist, which is another area theme that I really liked a lot.
The high waist.
Yeah,
I just like that.
High waist. Another kind of bombastic area theme.
And then right after this one is Sarabi's Step, which we already listened to.
Yep. This is the end of disc 3, or CD 3 of the soundtrack. Get that Final Fantasy 12
Once again,
motif mixed in.
And it's
there.
worked into so many of the songs here.
I like this part a lot.
This is really cool.
Okay, then I only have 3 left, and they're all kind of towards the end. To the Place of the Gods.
There it is.
This one's very mysterious. Just really nice. This little piano part here I like.
Has a slight Kingdom Hearts feel,
Yeah,
actually.
a little Kingdom Heartsy. I could see that.
I just like music like this.
I do
really
too. I do too. And you know, maybe that comes from listening to a lot of movie soundtracks growing up, and this feels very much like a film soundtrack in a lot of ways, but I just think it's great. Okay, so then ending movie. This is the other one.
Okay.
That was arranged by Hayato Matsuo. And very Star Warsy. And this is, kind of the ending of the game, right? The ending cutscene. But this has a very similar feel to it. It's fantastic. And we'll go back through a couple of years before we hit Kiss Me Goodbye.
Okay, good.
It's just so good. It's just so good. It's like
this is just a guy who knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
He knows his way around the orchestra.
He knows exactly how to arrange for a full orchestra. And he's using every part of it.
Everything.
Not one section is like going to be sitting out. You're all involved. You all have a prominent part. I like this theme a lot.
Mm.
I could just see this in like a John Williams movie somewhere. Like,
oh, absolutely.
It fits so well. This could go in Harry Potter. This
Any
could
of them.
go in
Jurassic
Star
Park.
Wars.
Yeah.
Go in Jurassic Park.
It could. Go in AI.
Totally.
He did AI, right?
I think he did.
Spielberg. I assume
Spielberg
he did the music.
directed it, so I'm pretty sure he did. Love those brass sections. Here it comes. 12 theme. Reworked again. That's so Star Wars right there. Those staccato.
They keep one-upping each other.
Yeah. Staccato brass.
Yeah.
And then we move to something that feels more sweeping with the
but
strings.
Still with the theme. Yeah.
And then, of course, this is all fitting with a movie. With a movie. So it's all kind of like moving with the storytelling of the cutscene.
And I can't remember the ending movie.
Really?
Very well, no.
I can't wait till we cover this game again.
The end of this movie's a blur. I had so much fun playing it up until certain fortress.
It's pretty much all on an airship. It's like big. You see these airships here in the artwork. It's like during that part.
The airships in FF12 are really fun. Really fun. It's got kind of like an airport vibe.
Yeah.
Just super fun.
Yeah, there's a big airship dogfight battle towards the end.
Nice.
Again, another parallel of Star Wars, right? Very Star Warsy in that sense.
Rogue One. Did Rogue One go in?
This theme. Well, I just moved past it, but it was good. Anyway, we don't have to listen to the whole thing, but it's great.
Theme of the Empire.
Oh, my goodness.
Is one I've got.
My goodness. I think I put that one down and skipped it. Yeah, this one's awesome.
Well, I got it covered.
This one's fantastic.
Yeah, Theme of the Empire is also, it's a longer song. It's almost 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
Tons of different movements, but very important for
this. Is another one that jumps out to me when I hear FF12 music. This is like the third, I would say, would jump right to me.
I love that bell too, chiming in. Boom.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh. Little Star Wars there?
Yep, 100%.
Just when you have this floating, soaring music that slowly like dampens a little bit, and you get that solo brass kind of coming through in a higher pitch like a trumpet.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's really cool. So much Star Wars happening here.
That you're
so
right.
Much.
You're totally right. Maybe I wasn't completely off in attributing Sakimoto to sounding like John Williams. He does in places. At least in this soundtrack. Not so much in Vagrant Story or Final Fantasy Tactics or some of his other games, but in this game in particular.
He did probably by direction. Because a lot of
just
elements of the game did kind of fit in with that. Yeah, this, and once again, the very low percussion happening here. It's like very deep. It's very, very cool.
Super good.
We did the Rabbit Aster ones already. To Be a Sky Pirate. Now, this song is 30 seconds long. It's very short, kind of like the Game Over theme.
Yeah.
I wish it was longer. It's a really cool, cool song.
Oh, yeah, it's a piano piece.
Just this solo piano. Actually, there's another instrument that comes in accompanying it, but yeah, here it is, some strings.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I love that low bass. bass.
Yeah, the bass.
Way down here.
And now my question of why couldn't this be longer is because this was written for a specific moment,
for a moment.
in a specific game, which is true of all of these things. You know, some of the stuff that I don't like, I have an easier time forgiving it because I'm like, well, this is for a specific thing that's happening here. But that song should have been longer. It should have been longer. That scene should have been longer. How about that? Don't put it all on the musician. It's not his fault. And then I only have a couple more. So the Chocobo theme. So just like with the Prelude.
So they have a couple Chocobo themes in this one. Is it FF12 arranged?
Yeah, yeah, it's FF12 arrange. Like with the Prelude, how you get the song you know and love,
yes.
but then they come in with this like imperial kind of, you know, the classical music kind of starts to take over a little bit after a while.
Oh,
that wood block, the block kind
the
of
wood block sounds great.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. But if you skip a little bit ahead, it turns into this.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is the Chocobo theme. And then it goes back into it. It just moves back and forth in very interesting ways that I really like.
That's really great. I like
and then we have symphonic poem Hope, which is
that's
towards the very
end.
end.
Yeah, this is a good one.
And then after that, we'll get into the
this
song
one here. Yeah, yeah, this one's.
And it has a slow start. It's a longer song though.
I like these kind of sad strings though. I'm a sucker for sad strings. I really like sad strings, especially in the lower registers when they're not like when you get the violas and the cellos. That kind of carrying it, I really like that a lot.
So this actually feels a little bit like Lion King, which is Hans Zimmer. But, getting a little bit of that here. You know, it's this isn't too long. 3 minutes 54 seconds.
Yeah,
it's not too long. But this is one of the songs I feel like might have been recorded with a live orchestra.
It was.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Very good choice.
Looks like it's going to move here. Wait, you get a little bit of that harp there. You hear
that
prelude a little bit in there?
Yeah.
Oh,
they just kind of hit you.
So this song is called Hope, Symphonic Poem Hope.
Yeah.
So you had kind of that sorrow at the beginning, but now it's kind of moving in a more hopeful direction.
Yeah.
Love it. Love those trills.
Yeah.
It's great.
And then go to like maybe the last minute here, because the song is building towards something. Yeah, look right here.
Oh yeah, this part.
A solo violin shows up.
This is awesome.
It just carried. Once again, it's a sad sounding. The way it's being played is in the manner of a sad song, but it's playing it in a happy way. Right? It's got the heavy vibrato fiddle violin kind of.
I love that.
But slow,
contrast.
long notes. But just a beautiful, beautiful melody.
That's actually a really good point. It's this violin there sounds like it should be sad, but it's not. It's actually hopeful.
It turned sadness into joy of some sort.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, this is a great piece. Can't believe I didn't put it into my list.
And just this part, maybe the violin is doing a little bit too much work here for me, but it feels a bit like it could be at home in FF13 as well.
This almost sounds like a Grandia piece here.
Oh, really?
Orchestra here.
I haven't played those.
Grandia is good. Super good.
Some Vivaldi kind of strings going on there at the end with that fast playing.
Yeah,
and then we're good to move on to this one here.
So I'm going to point this one out really quick. Because remember earlier I was saying, you have those Matsuo arranged for orchestra pieces.
Yeah.
Like the third track, which is the Final Fantasy XII theme, I think. This also has that, but this is not recorded by the orchestra. This is, I think, Sakimoto's.
It's MIDI or?
Yeah, like whatever you call
the
that.
Sound chip of the Sony sound chip.
He would have written this in a DAW or whatever.
Okay,
and then maybe exported the sheet music, and then that was taken and then arranged into the orchestral version. But it's just interesting because you have a lot of the same parts, but it's just none of these are real instruments, right? Like this part.
I hear that, yeah.
Right.
this song is likely the same as the previous one you were referencing in the remastered version, because it's just a live soundtrack.
Oh, right. But you get like the whole thing, right?
Interesting.
But it's not exactly the whole thing, because this is 3 minutes long, and the other one's like 7 minutes long. So I feel like Matsuo must have embellished or added some parts. Or
it's called the radio edit. This was his radio edit.
But yeah, so it's Sakimoto might have actually written some, or maybe even most of the movements that are in that other one, but they were just arranged, added to.
Once again, we're getting that unique drum
that
you don't hear in music like this very often.
But I just thought that was interesting. I hadn't heard this version.
I like it.
Before.
It's cool.
And this part's totally different. But anyway, let's go to "Kiss Me Goodbye," which is Uematsu's
"Kiss Me Goodbye"
contribution. Well,
no,
in a certain way, kissing him goodbye. Because he's leaving Square Enix. But although he still comes back and writes music for them all.
Yeah, he's done it several times. So Angela, to forget her, I wrote it down here. Her name is Angela. I think I wrote it down. Angela Aki.
Aki, that's right.
Yeah, so she is once again that part Japanese, part American kind of feel that they're going for.
Yeah,
they're always
that a
going
lot
for
in the ballads that he would write for the singers. He wanted them to have a kind of a global appeal, right?
Global, but still rooted in the East in a pretty important way. He didn't just pick a completely foreign. He usually picks somebody like, the Chinese woman in FF8, or he just kind of had an English version and a Japanese version. There is 2 versions of this song.
Oh,
as
there
well.
is.
I have not heard the Japanese song, and even with FF11, I think
there was something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It might just be hard for me to find those, but I did look up the lyrics to this song. And I had a hard time. We're not going to say anything about the ending of FF12, but I had a hard time knowing what this song's about, who it's referencing, what it's talking about.
I think I know, but
I don't have a hard time. I don't have a hard time with that in FF8 or 7, or 7 didn't really have the same. 8, 9, and 10, the vocal tracks for that one. I'm like, I know exactly what's happening here.
I think I could say, I'm not going to say,
but
you don't what I will say is the fact that this was written first might have something to do with that might have changed over the course of development or something like that.
I just kind of wonder. There's a bit of a disconnect between what I'm hearing and the game that but I kind of started to think of it in a different way, that this isn't maybe necessarily about the character, although it still can be. It's about the player, right? This is the goodbye song at the end of the game, speaking to the player and about our experience. And because there's a line here, well, dang it, I don't have it here. There's a line here about, all the worlds that we've experienced together kind of thing. And I almost feel like, whoa, that's talking about me. That's not talking about anyone here. That's talking about me. And I don't know, I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah. There's something meta about that. I don't know if it's on purpose. It just feels like he's leaving.
Yeah.
He's leaving Square.
That's kind of, I felt something like that. And he's talking to the players, ourselves, as he's...
That could, I think that could totally be, I could see that being what the sentiment behind him writing this was. But I don't know for sure.
I don't know either.
I do know it's a good song, though. I like it.
I do, too. It has a bit of that maybe 90s Celine Dion kind of type sound to it, which is what a lot of Uematsu's... Yes, stuff. Absolutely. But this one less so than maybe the ones before it.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end. I guess we could play... Well, no, I guess we already did.
We already did it.
The all the other stuff. But that brings us to the end of Final Fantasy XII's soundtrack. Great stuff. I'm a big fan. I'm excited to do the next one too, because
13. I have not delved into that soundtrack much.
A big departure from that classic Uematsu Final Fantasy sound, but in a totally different way from this. Totally different way from this. Yeah. But again, Hamauzu had worked on Final Fantasy X, so there is at least a connection to. Yeah. He's worked on one of the games before. had worked with Uematsu very closely before. And I like it a lot as well. But
good.
I'll have to wait a little bit for that because we're going to be shifting focus to Expedition 33 here moving forward into next week. Hope you guys are excited for that. We are. We're also going to be playing Eternal Darkness for Halloween.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to talk about Eternal Darkness for like a long time. It's something I know you guys would never vote for, so you're just going to have to freaking bear with it because I want to talk about it so
Deal
bad.
with it. One episode.
It'll get like 2,000 views. And like nobody will watch, but I don't care. Similarly to Terra Enigma, it's just something that it's one of those games I have to.
It just has to be done.
Has to be done at some point. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.